Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, here to bring you some high school girls soccer action between the hosting Brookline High School Warriors and the visiting Newton North High School Tigers. These two teams have already played each other twice this season, with the two teams fighting to a 1-1 tie in Newton North in the first game, and then Newton North gaining the 1-0 win over Brookline here at Skyline the last time they played. Last time they played was back on October 25th. Since then, Brookline had one game postponed, and they played one game against Natick High, suffered a 1-0 loss in that one, and fell to a record of 2-3-2. Thanks to the athletic directors getting together, we were able to get a couple extra games this season in what has been certainly a very weird 2020 season. And so, as a result, this is one of those extra games, and for all of us soccer fans, that's certainly a good thing. So as we get ready to get underway, take a little look back once again at the two teams' previous matchups. Two teams played each other first back on October 21st. Pardon me. Back on October 21st in a night game under the lights at Newton North High School at their football field. And the two teams managed to fight to a 1-1 tie. Alex Levy scored the goal for Brookline off an assist from Samantha Friedman, while Kayla Boggs scored the goal for Newton North to force the 1-1 tie. In the second matchup, they faced up 4 days later in a morning game here at Skyline on October 25th, and it was Claire Rayner who came through with the only goal of the game for the Tigers to give them the 1-0 win. So far, one tie, one Newton North win. We'll see how today's game plays out. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, live at Skyline Field. I'll be back after a quick mute break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, bringing you back to the action as we get ready to start this high school girls soccer game between the hosting Brookline High Warriors and the visiting Newton North Tigers. Looks like the way things are lining up, Brookline in blue jerseys will be playing from my right, while Newton North in white will be playing from my left. In most days at Skyline Field, the direction a team is playing in plays a big factor in things due to the wind, but we've got a very calm day today. Surprisingly not very windy, and also surprisingly quite warm, considering we're right in the middle of November, and considering we had snow just a week ago. That was actually what resulted in the postponing of a planned game between Brookline and Natick that has been rescheduled to later this coming week. Looks like Newton North will get the opening possession. And there's the opening whistle, and there we go. Newton North passes it back, tries to kick it into the air. It goes off the side of her foot and almost recovered by Brookline's Sari Frankel. Instead, it's recovered by Newton North, passed back. They try and pass it ahead. Skips away from the target. It's being chased down by Mila Seifert. She passes it back to Lindsay Mahoney, then crosses it over to Caroline Wolf. Caroline Wolf kicks it towards the center, misses her target, intercepted by Newton North. A pass winds up at the foot of Ellen Ria Booney, who tries to pass it, but it's intercepted by Melanie Chernin. She dribbles ahead, passes it over to Gianna Pentland, then passes it over to the far end, over to Samantha Friedman, tries to dribble with it, taken away by Newton North. Centering pass goes over to Emma Plainett, then kicked ahead, deflected. It goes to Ria Booney. She tries to do an off-balance kick, and it bounces harmlessly into the arms of Brookline goalkeeper Talia Thompson. Thompson rolls it up for Hope Leshley. Leshley dribbling with it. She passes it ahead, finds Pentland. Pentland sends it out to the far end to Mia Pujols-Braceno. Pujols-Braceno tries to kick it. It's deflected out of bounds by Newton North, and that'll be an inbounds kick for Brookline. The inbounds kick has been the bane of so many players this year, just trying to figure out how many whistles before you can kick it in, where the ball needs to be placed. A lot more difficult for them to get exactly right than the normal inbounds as Brookline kicks it in and gets started moving their way down the field on the far side. This is Samantha Friedman, still dribbling with it, tries to send a pass to Frankel, but intercepted and kicked away by a Newton player, recovered by Friedman. She's dribbling with it, trying to escape the defense, find an opening, sends a pass ahead intended for Pentland, deflected out of bounds by a Newton North defender. Brookline getting ready for the inbounds kick. Well into the Newton North end here. Pujols-Braceno kicks it into Friedman. Friedman kicks it into the air towards the box. It's downed by a Newton North defender, deflected away and goes to the foot of Hope Leshley. She passes out of traffic to Seifert. Seifert attempted centering pass aimed for Melanie Chernin, intercepted by Newton North. They send a long pass ahead out to Helen Riabuni. Riabuni dribbling along the near sideline. She's got some space to work. Now being matched up by Seifert. She tries a centering pass. It's easily kicked away by Lindsay Mahoney. Winds up at the foot of Hope Leshley, and now Brookline starts to move the ball. Leshley dribbling towards midfield. She attempts a pass looking for Pentland, but nothing doing, and it goes out of bounds. Looks like they're going to say it was either a foul or an offsides, and so they're kicking it from inbounds. This is Morgan Gallivan, tapping it back to Tully Membrino. She kicks it into the air across midfield. It's being chased down by Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney stops it, almost has it taken away by Riabuni, but she maintains control, passes it over to Leshley. Leshley almost loses it from the defensive pursuit by Lily Ranelli, but manages to pass it back to Mahoney to keep the possession intact. Mahoney settles it, tries to kick ahead, deflected, and then kicked by Riabuni. The deflection was Gallivan. But now, after a couple deflections, Hope Leshley takes it away, passes it ahead to Frankel. Frankel now dribbling with it, trying to get around playing it. She does, but Morgan Gallivan comes in and takes the ball and kicks the ball out of bounds, rather. So it'll now be an inbounds kick around midfield for Brookline. Mila Seifert kicking the ball inbounds for Brookline. She taps it into Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan turns around and dribbles around Riabuni. Tries to go for a through pass, deflected by Gallivan. And taken by Newton North. They kick across midfield. They kick it ahead to number 23, Ali Contaridis. Contaridis passes out to Riabuni. Riabuni tries to recenter it. Intercepted by Leshley. Leshley now dribbling with it. Trying to find the right opening. Sends a pass out to the near sideline to Seifert. Seifert sends a pass through to Frankel. Frankel dribbles in retreat to give herself an opening. Sends a pass all the way out to the far side to Pujols-Braceno. Braceno tries to tap it ahead, and it's collected by Samantha Friedman. Friedman now dribbling with some space to work. She sends a long pass ahead looking for Fagnan. Stopped for a second by Membrino, and then cleaned up by Gallivan. Passed ahead to Riabuni. Riabuni sends a pass through, deflected by Leshley, and then is kicked off the side of the foot by Gallivan. It goes out of bounds. So Brookline with another inbounds kick. This is Seifert. Seifert taps it into Fagnan. Fagnan dribbling. Sends a pass towards the middle to Gianna Pentland. Pentland deflected it, trying to collect it, being chased by a couple defenders, and it gets taken away. Passed ahead. This is Contaridis. Contaridis dribbling with it and gets it taken away by Hope Leshley. Just wrestled the ball away from her, and she's trying to send a long pass through to Fagnan, but it's going to be chased down instead by Tully Membrino. Kicked back to the Newton North goalkeeper, Irene De La Roca. She boots it ahead across midfield. It's being chased after by both Seifert and Riabuni. Seifert wins the race, sends a retreating pass back to Talia Thompson. Thompson kicks it back into the field of play. It's collected by Leshley. Leshley trying to get around the edge and get across midfield. She does, and then it's deflected out of bounds by Lily Ranelli. Brookline with another inbounds kick around midfield here on the near side. Seifert again taps it in for Fagnan. Fagnan with the attempted centering kick looking for Chernin. Battle for the ball. Chernin wins it. Now Chernin dribbling with some space to work. She sends a through pass. Almost got through, but well deflected by the Newton North defense. They kick it back out into space. It's collected by Leshley. Leshley passes over for Chernin. Chernin gets around one defender, tries to pass, deflected, and taken away by Newton North. They bring it across midfield. They're working through it. This is Catalina Powderly. And eventually she forces Caroline Wolf to kick the ball out of bounds. So Newton North will have the ball. A nice out-of-bounds kick by Caroline Wolf as it actually moved the Tigers backwards from where they were, while most desperation out-of-bounds kicks by defenders tend to just work laterally. So the inbounds kick by Newton North goes to Plainett. Plainett sends the pass back to Membrino. Membrino dribbling with it. Sends a pass and intercepted by Fagnan, but then almost taken back by Membrino, but Fagnan manages to maintain it. Kick ahead is deflected down by Anna Engel and kicked back across midfield. Now a battle along the far side for the ball. It goes out of bounds, and this will be Brookline ball. Brookline again inbounding it around midfield. Pujols-Braceno taps it into Friedman. Friedman dribbling with it. Tries to send a pass towards the center. A deflection. Another deflection. Membrino manages to kick it away, but then Frankel recovers it. Frankel now dribbling around, trying to send a pass. Goes off the foot of Friedman. Newton North tries to kick it away. Friedman chases it down and passes it out to the far side to Frankel. Frankel cannot keep it in bounds, and that'll be Newton North ball. Newton North will have the inbounds kick in their own end. Deep in their own end. They kick it in. Angle boots it. Long line drive, but it flies out of bounds. Brookline will have the inbounds kick now. Still in the Newton North end as they tap it into Friedman. Centering pass for Chernin. Deflects away from her and is now intercepted and stolen. This is Lily Ranelli dribbling with it. She's got some space to work. Tries to send a through pass to the left. She's got her teammate. Now the shot. Saved by Thompson! Great sliding stop by Talia Thompson, and now Brookline is running with the ball. Samantha Friedman sends a kick ahead over to Frankel. Frankel's working down the far side. They're trying to go end-to-end here. Frankel dribbling with it, trying to find the edge. Fakes out one defender, but then the defender recovers and kicks it away. I think that was Membrino. Friedman tried to get it back in, and then Membrino kicked it out of bounds. Talia Thompson has had some truly highlight-worthy saves over the past few games. Credit to the sophomore keeper who's filling in for an injured Juliana Anastopoulos as Brookline goes for the inbounds kick. Friedman dribbles around the edge, tries to center and kick, but it's taken by Engel. Now taken away by Frankel. She shoots and wide. Great play by Frankel there to get an offensive chance, but shot went well wide, and so Newton North is going to try and clear it, but for a second stolen by Friedman, and now Newton North trying to recover. The ball gets deflected out of bounds. They're going to say Newton North ball. Brookline showing some aggression here these past couple of possessions, as now Newton North has the inbounds kick in their own end. It's inbounded to Engel. Engel pops it into the air. Chernin downs it, but then it's kicked away by Ranelli, and it goes to Powderly. Powderly passes it along the far side, and then it's kicked ahead to Contreras. Contreras fights her way through Leshley, tries to send a long pass ahead, looking for Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney wins the race against Seifert, has it in the near corner, tries a centering kick. It rolls past so many players. That could have been so dangerous, but nobody went after it. It's kicked away by Brookline, now goes to the foot of Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan trying to fight around the defender, and it's kicked out of bounds by Morgan Gallivan. So it'll be an inbounds for Brookline. Scary moment as the centering kick by Rhea Booney rolled by multiple players from both teams across the front of the goal. The inbounds kick goes to Hope Leshley, then back to Lindsay Mahoney, across to Caroline Wolf, ahead to Melanie Chernin. Chernin kicks it out to the far sideline, looking for Pujols-Braceno, but it goes long and out of bounds. Newton North will have the inbounds kick as we have substitution coming in for Newton North. This is Kayla Boggs, number 8. As she subs in for her teammate number 17, Olivia Doherty. Newton North now does the inbounds kick, immediately intercepted by Melanie Chernin. Chernin now dribbling with it. Attempted pass deflects off the back of Gianna Pentland's foot and is chased down and booted out of bounds by Gallivan, but they're either calling it, they're saying it's going to be Newton North ball. They might have called a foul on Pentland, as got a little too aggressive pursuing the ball, may have tripped up Gallivan there. Gallivan setting up for the indirect kick. She's going to tap it back to Membrino. Tolly Membrino boots it across midfield. It goes off the foot of Powderly. Ranelli trying to down it. She does. Starts to dribble, going against Melanie Chernin. Chernin kicks it away, but it goes back to Emma Plainett. Plainett being chased down from behind by Pentland, but she gets the pass away to Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney boots it into the air. She's looking for Boggs, but it's taken away by Pujols Braceno. Passed ahead to Samantha Friedman. Friedman dribbling with it along the far sideline. Passes ahead, looking for Frankel. It gets deflected out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball. Brookline just past midfield. They'll have the inbounds kick. Still scoreless here at Skyline Field. Brookline 0, Newton North 0 here in the first quarter of play. Brookline now going for the inbounds kick. Pujols Braceno taps it in to Friedman. Friedman centering kick looking for Chernin. Chernin sends the pass back to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney dribbles a little across midfield, then kicks it in looking for Pentland. Hits traffic, taken away by Ranelli. Ranelli runs into traffic herself and has to kick it. It's deflected, recovered by Gallivan, and then turns around, kicks it off the side of her foot out of bounds. Brookline with another inbounds kick deeper in the Newton North end. Seifert taps it into Fagnan. Fagnan dribbling towards the middle. Gets around one defender, centering pass, goes to Frankel. Frankel now trying to get around Powderly. She gets around Powderly, but still being fought for it. Physical, passes to Friedman. Friedman with a kick, and it bounces into the arms of Irene De La Roca. De La Roca with the drop kick into the air. It bounces towards midfield, downed by Leshley, and she manages to kick it through a defender. Hope Leshley now dribbling with some space to work, trying to maintain control of the ball. Now dribbles towards the center, being chased by Plainett. She kicks it into space. It's deflected and then collected and shot by Melanie Chernin. She came out of nowhere and fired a laser, but right into the arms of De La Roca once again. De La Roca now punts it towards midfield. A bit of a deflection, and I think they're going to call the handball on Chernin. Nothing wrong with the way she played that one. That was just an unlucky bounce right up into her hands as a couple players were going for the ball. And so Newton North will have it after the handball. Indirect kick. I think they're looking for Anna Engel to tap it back to Membrino. Or no, Engel's just going to kick it herself. It was a direct kick. Flies across midfield. Headed down by Chernin. Now Chernin's got it cleanly. She kicks it across midfield. It's kicked away by Engel. Out to the far side. Now kicked ahead. And stolen away for a second by Friedman, but then Newton North takes it right back. And then it's deflected by Caroline Wolf. And it goes back to Emma Plainett, who tries to kick it out to the far side looking for Boggs. Kayla Boggs downs it, tries a centering kick. Deflected away by Wolf once again. Chased down by Chernin. Chernin boots it into the air. Goes down to Frankel. Frankel recovers it. Trying to go around. She gets across midfield, sends a through pass. Nice pass over, I believe that's Pentland, who then sends a pass down the far side, the near side rather, looking for Zoe Fagnan, but it goes wide and out of bounds. Newton North will once again have the inbounds kick in their own end. Gallivan kicks it into Membrino. Membrino boots it into the air across midfield, being chased down and deflected out of bounds by number 12, Claire Rayner. As we have a couple substitutions. For Newton North coming in is number 14, Josie Tucker. And for Brookline, we got a few players subbing in. One of them now getting the inbounds kick. This is Maddie Moore. Moore kicks it towards the center to Leshley. Leshley trying to get around Lily Ranelli. She manages to get around, sends a through pass, looking for Moore. Moore signaled for it. That was a great call. Moore's now got it. She's got some space to work. Runs into a defender, and it gets taken away by Gallivan. Moore had a chance there, but just got chased down. Gallivan tries to take it away. Deflected by Seifert. Goes back to Gallivan. She kicks it into the air. And now Claire Rayner wins the battle for the ball against Mahoney, and she's got some space to work. Nobody but Caroline Wolf in between her and the goal, and she gets past Wolf, but then Mahoney chases it down from behind. Kicks it back to Thompson. Thompson boots it into the air. Dangerous chance there by Claire Rayner, but good recovery by the Brookline defense. Kicked into the air by Plainett, downed by Gianna Pentland. Passed over to the far side. This is Annabelle Meyer. Meyer with a centering kick back to Pentland. Pentland sends the pass back to Leshley. Hope Leshley dribbling once again against Ranelli. Sends a pass out to the near side, and Mila Seifert wasn't there. And we've got another substitution for Newton North. This is Malia Sung coming in, replacing Emma Plainett. Morgan Gallivan will have the inbounds kick for Newton North. Sends the pass into Helen Rhea Booney. She's being defended by a couple Brookline players, and it's deflected out of bounds by Maddie Moore. Gallivan once again with the inbounds kick.
There it is! There it is!
Sends the pass into Ranelli. Ranelli trying to gain the edge. Now being chased by Seifert. Ranelli might have a step on her. Tries the centering kick. It goes out of bounds. And I think they're going to say that's a goal kick.
What does our corners look like?
No, they're going to say that was deflected off of Seifert's foot. So that's going to be a corner kick for Newton North. First corner kick of the game.
I need players on the post. What's our corner kicks look like?
They're going to send two players out to the corner. Looks like it's going to be Gallivan and Rayner. Gallivan taps it in for Rayner. Rayner attempted centering kick. She finds Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney turns around, kicks, deflected by Caroline Wolf. And it goes out of bounds. This will be another corner kick for Newton North. Good defense by Caroline Wolf to get the deflection. And now they're setting up for another corner. Tapped in once again for Rayner. Rayner kicks it into the air towards the center, and it deflects off a Newton North player. Rolls out. I think that was Lily Ranelli that it deflected off of. Now Newton North chases down the deflection, passed back to Claire Rayner, and she launches one well high and wide. This time it'll be a goal kick. And we've got a substitution for Brookline. Alex Levy checks into the game. I think she replaced Gianna Pentland. The goal kick goes to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney sends a kick looking for Levy. It gets deflected, being chased after. Hope Leshley battled Claire Rayner, and the ball got deflected back to Mahoney. Mahoney tries to send a pass to Levy. Levy dribbled with it for a second, had it taken away by Gallivan. Retreating kick back to Tully Membrino. She whiffed on it for a second, but managed to chase it down. Turns around, passes ahead to Rhea Booney. Centering kick to Malia Sung. Sung tried to pass it ahead. It gets away from her, kicked into the air by Caroline Wolf. Tracked down by Alex Levy. Levy sends a pop-up pass looking for Frankel, and I think they're going to call offsides. A nice move by Morgan Gallivan, staying ahead of Frankel to force the offsides. That could have been a dangerous chance if executed properly, but it can be hard when a high pass is gone to time it just right for an offside. So Morgan Gallivan taps the indirect kick back to Membrino. Membrino boots into the air, downed by Lily Ranelli, but then taken away by Hope Leshley. Leshley manages to get a pass away to Maddie Moore on the near side. Maddie Moore trying to dribble around Gallivan, but Gallivan deflects that out of bounds. This will be an inbounds kick for Brookline. Moore taps it into Seifert. Seifert fakes, turns around, sends a pass over to Frankel. Frankel gets around her defender. She's now dribbling with some space to work. Defense is closing. She sends a pass through. That was Liv Ernst. Liv Ernst with a great pass. Shot off the crossbar! Oh, that was such a great chance for Brookline. And Newton North chases it and kicks it out of bounds. Great ball movement by Brookline. That was Samantha Friedman, who had such a great chance off a fantastic pass from Liv Ernst. And after the inbounds kick, they blow the whistle for the first quarter. And that'll end our first quarter of play. Currently scoreless. Brookline 0, Newton North 0. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. And I'll be back after a short mute break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, bringing you live coverage of this high school girls soccer matchup between the hosting Brookline High Warriors and the visiting Newton North Tigers. After one quarter of play, the two teams are scoreless. Both teams had some scary chances there, perhaps none closer than a last-minute shot by Samantha Friedman. That was the last kick of a great string of passes from Maddie Moore to Mila Seifert to Frankel to Liv Ernst. And then finally to Friedman, who launched an absolute laser that just bounced off the crossbar. Brookline will get the first possession of this quarter. They'll be playing from the left while Newton North plays from the right. Alex Levy and Frankel at the center for Brookline. Levy taps it over to Frankel, and we're underway. Frankel sends a kick looking for Friedman. Gets kicked away by Fiona Flint. Into the air, downed by Liv Ernst, but then taken by Kayla Boggs. Kicked ahead, and she battles through Annabelle Meyer. Kayla Boggs still with it. She's coming down the near side, getting closer. Trying to now dribble around Ernst. Centering kick looking for Rayner, and it's kicked into the air by Lindsay Mahoney. Annabelle Meyer is still down on the field. She's hurt. She's having a little trouble getting up. She's clutching what appears to be her right leg. No, she's not laying on the ground. She's sitting up, but she's not getting up. So the hope is that this isn't too bad. Maybe just pulled a muscle really bad or something. Maybe a bad cramp. Who knows? But we certainly do hope she's okay, as now she lays down so that the trainer can take a more thorough look at her, make sure she's okay. Annabelle Meyer went down as she tried to take the ball away, but it was wrestled away from her by Kayla Boggs, who put an impressive attack on the Brookline defense. A nice centering kick looking for Claire Rayner, just missed her and kicked into the air by Lindsay Mahoney to clear it. Annabelle Meyer now back on her feet, treating that right leg a little gingerly as she's slowly coming off, limping off the field. And so subbing in will be Mia Pujols-Braceno. And so an indirect kick for Newton North. And how's that for sportsmanship? They slowly kick it as it rolls into the arms of Talia Thompson. That's sportsmanship. You got to respect that, especially between local rivals like this. As Thompson rolls it in for Lindsay Mahoney. Kicked ahead looking for Frankel. Battle for the ball. And it's won by Anna Engel. Engel sends a retreating pass. A bit dangerous as it's being chased after by Friedman, but taken by the goalie. Oh my gosh, Friedman took it away from the goalie. Friedman's chasing after the ball. Turns around, kick. Oh, out of bounds. She didn't have the angle. How many close chances is Samantha Friedman going to get this season? How many is she going to get today? Oh, that's tough. Great hustle by Samantha Friedman to get it away from Irene Della Rocca, who was trying to clear it. As Della Rocca now kicks it in, and they're trying to clear it. Oh, it's a sloppy clear once again. And I think we got a whistle. I think they're going to call the foul on Brookline, or maybe a handball. Aggressive attack on the ball by Alex Levy and Maddie Moore. They were trying to get the ball away from the Newton North defender. And now an indirect kick goes back to Membrino, booted into the air, downed by Ranelli, goes back to Sung. Sung boots it into the air. It's downed by Claire Rayner. She taps the pass back to Sung. Sung dribbling towards the middle, gets across midfield, kicks it ahead, and it goes right to Liv Ernst, who boots it back, but then taken by Fiona Flint, and she boots it back in. Couple deflections, and now the ball's up in the air, trying to be downed by Kayla Boggs. She downs it, sends a pass ahead towards the center, looking for number 14, Josie Tucker. Tucker kicks it into the air, being chased after by a couple players, ultimately grabbed by Newton North. Centering pass going for Malia Sung, but it gets away from her and is taken by Friedman. Friedman now dribbling with it. She's got some space to work as she tries to get her team across midfield. She boots it across midfield ahead for Alex Levy. Levy couldn't quite control it, and it's taken away by Newton North once again. Passed ahead. They get across midfield, going down the far side. Looking for Helen Riabuni. Riabuni with the centering kick, and Claire Rayner slipped, and it gets kicked back by Caroline Wolf. Goes back to Riabuni. She kicks it towards the center. Goes to Malia Sung. Sung with the ball, being chased by Ernst. Sends the pass out to Riabuni. Kicks it into the air towards the center. Downed by Tucker. Tucker tries to kick it, and it bounces wide. Oh, they're going to call a corner. I'm not sure who they think that ball deflected off of, but they call it a corner kick, and so Newton North will have the corner kick chance. And it looks like it'll be number 6, Kira Doherty, tapping it in for Claire Rayner. It's tapped in. Rayner launches one that flies over everyone's head and out of the box. Chased down by Rhea Booney. The retreating pass goes back and is kicked back in, but kicks past everybody, and that'll be a goal kick now for Brookline as it goes out of bounds out the back end. Thompson kicks it in for Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling with it. She boots it towards the center, looking for Frankel. Frankel recovers it, now trying to get around her defender, Anna Engel. Passes it ahead to Samantha Friedman. Friedman now working with some space. She fakes out her defender, gets away from another. She's trying to push it down once again, fighting against a defender, and it was defended by Josie Tucker, and they're going to say that Friedman lost it out of bounds. A massive substitution coming in for Brookline. That's going to be Ansley Washburn, Melanie Chernin, Zoe Fagnan, Gianna Pentland, Kellen McNamara, and Sarah Gonzalez all coming in at once for Brookline. Among those coming out, Sari Frankel, Liv Ernst, Hope Leshley, Maddie Moore, and Mila Seifert. So the free kick for Newton North. Skips past a couple of players, but recovered by Fagnan. Fagnan with a retreating pass back to Mahoney. Mahoney sends it across to Caroline Wolf. Wolf looked like she was going to send it back to Mahoney, but she fakes it. Now kicks it across midfield for a second, taken away by Newton North. Recovered by Chernin. Chernin dribbling against Engel. Tries a pass, intercepted by Boggs. Boggs tries a centering pass. Engel gets it, kicks it over the head of Rayner, and it bounces out of bounds. So it'll be an inbounds kick deep in the Brookline end. As teams try and get set up.
Helen, yep, pinch in. Ladies, this is a small field now. Keep the field small. Helen, you got 25.
Mia Pujols-Braceno taps back to Kellen McNamara. McNamara tried to kick it, and it's deflected out of bounds by Kayla Boggs. So they stay in roughly the same spot. So it'll be another inbounds kick for Brookline. Deep in their own end. Pujols-Braceno again going to be tapping it in to McNamara. She does. McNamara immediately kicks it. Goes into space, but taken by Kira Doherty. Doherty with an attempted centering pass to Sung. Intercepted by Chernin. She tried to dribble through traffic. Couldn't do it. Taken away by Doherty. Doherty with an attempted pass. Deflected by Fagnan. Sarah Gonzalez tried to chase it down, but it was taken away by Newton North. They try and dribble around the edge. They lose it out of bounds, but they're going to say it's off Sarah Gonzalez. So it'll be an inbounds kick deep in the Brookline end for Newton North as they're starting to put some sustained attacks together. The inbounds kick now booted into the air. Rayner was trying to go for it, but it's instead taken away by Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it. It bounces across midfield, chased down by Doherty. Doherty lost it out of bounds, and that's going to be Brookline ball. She was being chased by McNamara. So it'll be an inbounds kick for Brookline on the Newton North side. Here in the second quarter of this scoreless game, Mia Pujols-Braceno will be tapping it inbounds for Kellen McNamara. McNamara boots it into the air, gets downed and then taken by Newton North. Malia Sung kicks it into the air. Then it's deflected by Brookline. It's downed by Doherty. Doherty kicks it ahead for Tucker. Tucker turns around, kicks it for Boggs. Kayla Boggs kicks it ahead for Josie Tucker. Josie Tucker sends it ahead to Clara Rayner. Rayner now dribbling with it. Got a little bit of space. Turns around, shoots, skips into the hands, or well, off the hands of Thompson, but she tracks it down easily. Thompson heaves it, looking for Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan lost it for a second, but it's taken by Chernin. Chernin tried to pass it across midfield, but it's kicked away by Tali Membrino. Goes all the way back to Thompson. Thompson scoops it up, rolls it over to Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling. Tries a centering pass, deflected away by Anna Engel, but it goes back to Caroline Wolf, who kicks it back up ahead. Goes to Kellen McNamara. McNamara dribbles, turns around and kicks it across midfield, but collected by Membrino. Membrino kicks it back towards the Brookline side, and we've got a foul called. This is going to go against Newton North, against Helen Rhea Booney. Bit too aggressive on Sarah Gonzalez, and that'll be a foul call. So the kick for Brookline, it's going to be a direct kick. Zoe Fagnan kicks it across midfield. Bounces away from a couple players. Chased down by Malia Sung. Kick towards out of bounds. The question is, did it go off the foot of a Brookline player? As we get ready for the out of bounds, we got 3 subs coming in for Newton North. Number 19, Katie Rayner. Number 22, Sydney Boucher. And number 15, Grace Doherty. They replace Kayla Boggs, Lily Ranelli, and Helen Rhea Booney. Inbounds kick, it went to Newton North, so they booted into the air. It's being chased down by a couple of players. Deflected into the air, now still fighting for it. It gets kicked away by Brookline, goes back to Gonzalez, then back to Wolf, ahead to Washburn, then back to Mahoney. Mahoney now dribbling with it, directing traffic a bit. Kicks it across midfield. Deflected ahead by Alex Levy. Deflects off of Doherty. Now being chased by McNamara and the goalie Irene De La Roca. And De La Roca is forced to kick it out of bounds. A great deflected pass by Alex Levy to set up the potential attack. And the Newton North keeper, Irene De La Roca, was forced to kick it out of bounds to prevent the pursuing Kellen McNamara from chasing it down. We'll have an inbounds kick for Brookline. Pujols-Braceno will be tapping it into McNamara. McNamara kicks it. It's deflected off the back of a defender. Melanie Chernin chases it down and dribbles away from one defender. Gets a pass away back to Caroline Wolf. Wolf kicks it back towards the Newton North end, and it goes out the back end, and that'll be a goal kick. Good defense there by Newton North, as they now get ready for the goal kick. I think it'll be taken by the defender, Tali Membrino. She kicks it into the air. Mia Pujols-Braceno chasing it down, and she's just lets it roll out of bounds. Smart play there. Not risking anything, keeping the possession. Taps it back to McNamara. McNamara kicks it. Avoids the deflection. It goes to Ansley Washburn. Washburn tries to kick it back, but it goes right back to Claire Rayner. Rayner now dribbling with it. She's got some space to work. Starts to attack, launches a laser, and it bounces wide. Risky move by Talia Thompson, just letting it skip by, but she could probably see it better than I could. And she also is probably a better judge of these things than I am, considering she is the one playing in net and I'm the one standing on the side with a microphone. Thompson with the goal kick. She taps it over to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it ahead. It's deflected by Josie Tucker, downed by Claire Rayner. Rayner turns around, almost has it deflected away by Ansley Washburn. A bit of a battle for the ball. Goes back to Rayner, launches a laser right into the arms of Talia Thompson. Thompson now looking around. Goes for a punt towards midfield. Deflected off the foot of Malia Sung. Downed for a second by McNamara. Then a kick by Tucker is deflected by McNamara. Collected by Melanie Chernin. Sends a pass ahead looking for Alex Levy. Levy hits a defender and it gets kicked away towards midfield and out of bounds. That'll be Brookline ball. Inbounds kick for Brookline goes all the way back to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it across midfield. She was looking for either Levy or Pentland, but it gets kicked away by Newton North. Kicked back and forth now, and now it's collected by Josie Tucker around midfield. Her pass is deflected away by Zoe Fagnan. Almost deflected again by Levy, but instead kicked, I think that was Malia Sung. And now a couple taps ahead. Goes to Rayner, then back. And then an attempted insert pass is taken away by Sarah Gonzalez. She kicks it out. Back to Malia Sung is when it ends up happening. Sung kicks it into the air. Skips past a couple players, collected by Mahoney. Passed back to Thompson. Booted into the air. Levy fighting for it and collects it. Alex Levy now dribbling with it. Sends a pass. Deflected, but still chased down by Melanie Chernin. Chernin dribbling with some space. Sends a pass for Kellen McNamara. McNamara's got it along the near side. Turns around, kicks, and off the bar! And now there's a juicy rebound being chased down by Brookline. Zoe Fagnan, it got deflected by a defender. And now it's being chased down by De La Roca. Oh, that was a beauty of a kick by Kellen McNamara that just ran out of room, bounced off the corner of the posts, and now De La Roca boots it towards midfield. It's downed by Wolf, but taken by Rayner. A retreating pass turns into a kick ahead, looking for Grace Doherty. Doherty takes it away from Pujols Braceno, but then Wolf kicks it away, and Gonzalez kicks it ahead. It goes to Melanie Chernin. Chernin dribbling with it, being chased by Josie Tucker. She gets around, passes it over to Ansley Washburn. Washburn dribbling with it, trying to fake out her defender. Trying to get around. She gets around Katie Rayner, but as she kicks it ahead, it goes straight to Anna Engel. Engel kicks it back across midfield, being chased down by Mia Pujols Braceno. Pujols Braceno kicks it back to Talia Thompson. Thompson now passes it towards Chernin. Chernin collects it, but that has it taken away by Josie Tucker. Josie Tucker sends a pass over to Claire Rayner. This is dangerous. Rayner's dribbling. Shot saved by Thompson. Oh, man. I feel like I just keep saying, what an amazing save by Talia Thompson. That was such a dangerous turnover by Brookline. A great centering pass from Josie Tucker to Claire Rayner. Rayner had all kinds of space to work with. She literally dribbled up to where that was a point-blank shot. And it looked like she had faked out Thompson into going one way, but she reached her hands back and deflected out of bounds. So it'll be a corner kick for Newton North, but another fantastic save by Talia Thompson. Tapped in, now kicked into the air, deflected by Mia Pujols Braceno. It'll be out of bounds, now an inbounds kick for Newton North. Still scoreless here in the second quarter, 0-0. Brookline and Newton North have both had some great chances to score. No luck thus far. Inbounds kick is then sent to a centering kick, but kicked out by, I think, Gianna Pentland. It's taken away and then kicked back towards Claire Rayner. Rayner attempted a pass for Catalina Powderly. Powderly shot deflected by Lindsay Mahoney. Brookline tracks it down. A pass back to Mahoney. Now passed out to the far end. Sarah Gonzalez. Gonzalez boots it. Skips past a couple players, but then kicked by Anna Engel over to Katie Rayner, I believe. Rayner sends it over to the far end. Attempted recovering kick by Gallivan is deflected, and now collected by Sari Frankel. Frankel's dribbling along the far side, trying to gain the edge. She's being chased down. It gets deflected away and then kicked away by Anna Engel. Nice chase from behind by, I believe, Morgan Gallivan, and I think Brookline might have screwed up the inbounds kick and given Newton North the ball. So the inbounds kick, it's then booted into the air. A couple deflections, winds up at the foot of Zoe Fagnan. She passes it back to Sarah Gonzalez. Gonzalez, centering pass, goes to Hope Leshley. Leshley now gets around her defender. She's now got some space to work. Defense is closing. Attempted kick is deflected by Anna Engel. Engel then passes it over to Catalina Powderly. Powderly tries to kick it across midfield, but it's stopped by Sarah Gonzalez just at midfield. Dribbles, passes, gets it to her teammate. They're dribbling along the far side. That's Zoe Fagnan passing it back to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney now controlling it. Plenty of space to work. She dribbles, boots it towards midfield. It's deflected by Newton North. They're now going on the attack. I believe that's Gallivan. Centering pass over to Powderly. Powderly trying to dribble away from the defense. Tried to pass, deflected, and taken away by Melanie Chernin. Chernin now dribbling with it. Gets around one defender, sends a pass ahead to Gianna Pentland. Deflects a bit too far away from her, but she able to recover it. Send a pass out to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan now trying to dribble with it. She sends a retreating pass back to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney sends it back to Talia Thompson. Thompson winds up and kicks it towards Chernin. Rough deflection there, and it gets then deflected back to Caroline Wolf. Wolf kicks it into the air. Friedman downs it for a second, then Doherty kicks it away, but it goes right to Chernin. Chernin passes it over to Friedman. Friedman trying to get through Doherty, can't do it, but manages to deflect it over to Hope Leshley. Leshley now fights through a defender, but then it's kicked away. I believe that's Anna Engel. The deflection is bouncing wildly, now chased down by Powderly. Powderly boots it into the air. Another favorable deflection for Newton North. It goes to the foot of Claire Rayner. Rayner turns, shoots. Diving save by Talia Thompson. It was a slow roller, but she still had to fall for it. And Thompson gets another save, rolls it back into play for Sarah Gonzalez. Gonzalez kicks it ahead for Pentland. Pentland dribbling with it. Centering pass over to Hope Leshley. Leshley turns around, dribbling with some space to work. Gets across midfield, sends a pass over to Pentland. Pentland turns around, kicks it ahead. She gets it all the way over to Friedman. Friedman turning around. She's inside the box, trying to gain the edge on Doherty. Centering kick goes over everybody, and that's probably going to skip out of bounds unless someone can chase it down. They can't. That's going to be out of bounds and go back to Newton North. A wave of substitutions now coming in. Ansley Washburn, the only one coming in for Brookline for Newton North. Among the many substitutions, Helen Rhea Booney, Olivia Doherty, and Fiona Flint, as well as a couple others. The inbounds kick for Newton North, then booted into the air and being chased down by a couple players, ultimately recovered by Zoe Fagnan for Brookline. Dribbling, trying to find an opening, can't quite gain the edge. The attempted turnaround kick is deflected, but then recovered again. I think that's Gallivan, who then turns around and kicks it out of bounds. Once again, Brookline ball. Still scoreless here in the second quarter of play at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. And it's Brookline High getting ready for the inbounds kick deep in the Newton North end.
Well done.
So Brookline tries to go for the inbounds kick, and I think they did it wrong again, because now Newton North is getting the ball back. It's the second time that's happened, but it doesn't matter because there's the whistle for halftime. It's been a first half of near misses for both teams. Brookline has hit the crossbar a couple of times this half, while Newton North has been the victim of some incredible saves by Brookline keeper Talia Thompson. Will either of these teams be able to finally break through and notch one on the board? Well, we'll certainly see in the second half. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, live at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. I'll take a mute break for halftime. I'll be back, but just before we go to break, if you like listening to my broadcasts and you want to support me financially, you can head over to paypal.me/JGMS88 and give me a donation. No pressure to do so. I'm going to keep doing this either way. But, if you feel like sending me, something as simple as like a tip or anything you might want to do, you can once again head over to paypal.me/JGMS88. The link is also on my Mixlr page. But for right now, once again, the score, Brookline 0, Newton North 0. And we'll be back with the second half after a mute break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, here to bring you live coverage of the now third quarter of this girls' high school soccer game between the hosting Brookline High Warriors and the visiting Newton North Tigers. We are currently scoreless going into the third quarter here, and I don't think anybody is more frustrated by that scoreless mark than Brookline's Samantha Friedman and Newton North's Claire Rayner. Those two had some of the best chances of the first half to put something on the board, and they were stopped by a combination of bad luck and great defensive skill by the two goalkeepers, Talia Thompson on Brookline's side and Irene Della Rocca on Newton North's side. Starting here in the third quarter, Brookline in the blue jerseys will be playing from my right, while Newton North in the white jerseys will be playing from my left. Newton North will get the first possession of the third quarter. They have Ali Contaridis in the center, getting ready to get this underway. There's the whistle. Contaridis kicks it back to Emma Plainett. Plainett kicks it back to Tali Membrino. Membrino kicks a liner towards midfield. It's deflected away by Mia Pujols-Briseno, being chased after by Anna Engel, and she kicks it away, but it goes right to the foot of Samantha Friedman. Friedman dribbles around one defender, going down the far sideline, tries a pass, intercepted by Engel, kicked across, headed for Helen Riabuni, and a retreating pass, and then an attempted kick for Riabuni. Goes long and out of bounds. Brookline will have the first inbounds kick of the half. Kicked in for Samantha Friedman. Friedman tries to get through a couple defenders, gets through a couple, but then the ball rolls right to, I believe that's Emma Plainett, who kicks it out of bounds. Another inbounds kick for Brookline. Once again, tapped to Friedman. Friedman now boots it towards the center this time, but deflected by, I believe, Membrino, and then taken away by Brookline. Melanie Chernin launched one that bounced into the arms of Josie Glass, as there's been a goalie change halfway through the game for Newton North. Glass boots it into the air, past midfield. It's tapped by Seifert, but then taken away by number 5, Vivienne Lacamera, who then passes it to Olivia Doherty along the near side. Doherty trying to gain the edge. She manages to get a centering kickoff, but it's booted away instantly by Lindsay Mahoney and goes out of bounds. So Newton North setting up for the inbounds kick deep in the Brookline end. Morgan Gallivan setting up with Emma Plainett. Gallivan taps it. Plainett tries to tap it back, gets it back to Gallivan. Gallivan boots it into the air, deflected, winds up at the foot of, and it gets deflected again. Shot deflected. Couple of chances for Newton North, but nothing extremely dangerous as they lose the ball out of bounds towards midfield, deflected by a Brookline player, so it'll remain Newton North ball. Gallivan, once again, going to be inbounding it. Gets it to Lacamera. Almost taken away by Brookline, but gets the pass back to Plainett. Plainett tries to pass it ahead. This time is taken away by Seifert. Seifert centering pass over to Chernin. Back to Caroline Wolf, then along the far sideline for Pujols-Braceno. Pujols-Braceno sending it further along the far side, looking for Samantha Friedman. Friedman's got speed. She's trying to gain the edge now on Anna Engel. Decides to stop, cut back, cutting towards the middle, sends a centering kick. It's deflected, and it goes to Engel, who boots it into the air and safely away from danger. Now Newton North trying to work with it. They boot it across midfield. It's being chased down by Helen Riabuni. She kicks it ahead, but then immediately runs into a wall named Lindsay Mahoney. That's going to be a foul call. Mahoney was making sure Riabuni could not chase after that ball, but ended up getting a little too physical. Almost a head-on collision there. And it'll be the foul call on Brookline, so a free kick for Newton North. In the Brookline end, from the way they're aligning, looks like it's going to be a direct kick. This is Emma Plainett. Winds up, boots it towards the box, got some air under it. It's deflected down for a second, then booted into the air by Caroline Wolf, downed by Gianna Pentland, and Brookline's got the clear. Centering pass for Melanie Chernin. Chernin dribbling with it, tries to send a pass across, but taken by Anna Engel. Pentland was in pursuit, and they're going to say the foul is on Engel, as she cut off Pentland as she tried to take the ball away. So it'll be a free kick for Brookline now, just past midfield. Hope Leshley lining up, waiting for someone to tap it to her as it's an indirect kick. Trying to make sure all the players are properly arranged. Tapped over to Leshley. Leshley boots it. It skips away from Plainett for a second, but Plainett recovers, passes it over to Olivia Doherty, then passed back to Morgan Gallivan, then kicked ahead, and I think this is going to skip out of bounds. It will. So Brookline will have the inbounds kick close to midfield, but on their own end. Seifert looks like she's going to tap it into Fagnan. She does. Fagnan, pass for, Frankel. Frankel turns around, tries to kick it ahead, well past anyone in a Brookline jersey, and it goes out of bounds. So Newton North will have the inbounds kick deep in their own end. Gallivan going to tap it back to Tali Membrino. Membrino boots it into the air towards midfield, downed by Hope Leshley. Leshley manages to chase it down and get it under control, now dribbling with it. Sends a outlet pass out to the outside, but nobody there, just too far away from both Zoe Fagnan and Frankel. Rolls out the back end. That'll be a goal kick for Josie Glass. Glass kicks it over to Engel. And it's passed ahead to Helen Riabuni. She tries a pass deflected away by Pools Braceno, recovered by Chernin. Attempted pass for Frankel. Frankel lost it for a second but recovered it. Frankel now dribbling, trying to get it around defender. She does. The pass deflects out the foot of Pentland. Pentland tries to chase it down, but it's scooped up by Glass. Josie Glass looking around, decides to go for the punt towards midfield. Downed by Leshley again, and she manages to chase down and recover it. Has the ball kicked away from her and chased down by Olivia Doherty. And Doherty kicks it away, taken by Leshley, almost taken by Lacamera. Instead, it deflects back to Seifert, who passes it back to Mahoney. Back to Thompson, then over to Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling, looking for her passing outlet. Kicks it towards the center, finds Friedman. Friedman now dribbling with it. Still dribbling, gets around Planet, gets across midfield, dribbling with some space. Defense closing, it gets deflected away, and is now being chased down by Membrino, trying to keep the ball in bounds. She does, but has to kick it out of bounds thanks to some hot pursuit from Zoe Fagnan. So Brookline has the inbounds kick deep in the Newton North end. Mila Seifert will be tapping it into Zoe Fagnan. Seifert to Fagnan. Fagnan fakes, decides to dribble with it, trying to gain the edge, but well defended by Morgan Gallivan. And she turns around and manages to draw the foul from Fagnan just before kicking it out of bounds, so it'll maintain Newton North ball. So Newton North now lining up for the free kick near their back line. Just shows how good the defense there was by Gallivan. Gallivan taps it back to Membrino. Membrino boots it into the air. This might bounce out of bounds if they're not careful. And it does bounce out of bounds. That'll be Brookline ball. Good screening by Mila Seifert to make sure that Olivia Doherty could not try and keep it in bounds. Seifert taps it back to Fagnan. Fagnan taps it back to Seifert. Seifert tries to turn around and kick, but deflected and stolen by Doherty. Doherty with a pass over to Lacamera. Lacamera almost has it taken away, but then manages to get a pass off, looking for Doherty, but it's instead chased down by Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it and deflected out of bounds by Doherty. Smart play by Lindsay Mahoney. She faked one way, turned around as if she was going to kick it out of bounds, but instead kicked it off the foot of Doherty. So now it'll be a goal kick for Talia Thompson. She boots it into the air. And it's deflected down by Friedman. Friedman recovers it, turns around, kicks a laser pass over to Chernin. Chernin collects it, tries to kick it away, but deflected and taken by Emma Planet. Planet now dribbling. Passes over to the far side looking for Helen Riabuni. Riabuni winds up, shoots. Nice save by Thompson. Thompson was tracking that down almost like a wide receiver, ran with it, threw her arms up, and deflected that ball down. Punts it into the air, deflected off the foot of Friedman. Friedman collects it, dribbling across midfield, sends a pass through looking for Pentland, but it gets deflected away, but gets deflected back to Friedman. Friedman tries again on the pass, manages to find, Frankel this time. Frankel dribbling with it, goes towards the center, gets around a defender, has a little bit of space now. Trying to gain the edge, turns around, centering kick right into the hands of Josie Glass. A lot of the Brookline players were screaming about Zoe Fagnan being wide open along the far side, but nothing doing there. And after the kick by Glass, a bit of a deflection, Brookline took it away for a second, but I think they called offsides on Brookline, so it'll be a free kick for Newton North. And Engel boots it into the air. It's downed by Melanie Chernin. Passed to Samantha Friedman. Friedman passes back to Chernin. Chernin controls it, tries to send a pass through. No room there, and it goes to Anna Engel, who kicks it. Skips past a couple players, collected by Hope Leshley. Leshley dribbling, passes it over to Frankel. Frankel turns, shoots. Just bounces wide. Her shot got away from Josie Glass, but it bounced too far wide and out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick. Another agonizingly good chance. Both teams have had good shots at the net as Newton North makes a substitution. Josie Tucker coming in to replace Catalina Powderly. The goal kick goes into Angle. Angle kicks it ahead to Rhea Booney. And I think Newton North lost it out of bounds. Pujols Braceno taps it in for Friedman. Friedman gets past one defender, winds up, centering kick, and we've got a whistle. Of what? I'm not sure. Maybe, I think it might have been a foul call on Newton North as Friedman managed to hop over a trip attempt by a defender, but still connected with her legs, so that's still going to go as a free kick. Looks like it's going to be a direct kick. Friedman is going to wind up, kick a line drive to the box, and it's stopped by Fiona Flint and kicked back out. It's taken by Rhea Booney. She tries to get around a couple of players and loses the ball out of bounds, so that'll go back to Brookline. We have a pair of substitutions for Brookline. Maddie Moore and Liv Ernst coming in, replacing Zoe Fagnan and Melanie Chernin. Still scoreless here in the third quarter as Pujols Braceno taps it to Friedman, who then sends a pass over to Frankel. Frankel trying to get around her defender, trying to gain the edge. She manages to get a centering kick off. It's bouncing in the box and is booted out by Gallivan. Goes off the foot of Friedman. Then goes to Newton North. Passed ahead. Couple passes to Contreras, then back to Helen Rhea Booney, then back to Contreras. Contreras sends a pass towards the center, and then it's taken away from La Camara by Hope Leshley. Goes over to Maddie Moore. Maddie Moore's attempted pass ahead is deflected away by Membrino, but then another battle for the ball. And Gallivan tried to send a pass out to Doherty along the near sideline, but it goes out of bounds. Inbounds kick. Seifert taps it over to Moore. Moore with a centering pass over to Frankel. Frankel turns around, gets past her defender, tries to send a through pass. She's looking for Maddie Moore. This could be dangerous, but Josie Glass charges it and kicks it away. Goes to Anna Engel, but then taken away by Frankel immediately. Then taken back by Gallivan. Gallivan sends it over to Doherty on the near side. Doherty tries to send a pass through, but nobody there, and it's taken by Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney sends a retreating pass back to Talia Thompson. Thompson winds up, kicks it back into space. It's collected by Hope Leshley. Leshley passes it back to Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling with it, sends a pass ahead to Frankel. Frankel trying to battle around Emma Plainett, and they're going to call a foul on Plainett. We've got a couple substitutions set to come in, but not quite on this play. They're going to wait for, I think, an out-of-bounds call first. Looks like it's going to be an indirect kick. And it looks like Lindsay Mahoney is going to kick it over to Hope Leshley. Leshley brings it across midfield. Leshley still dribbling with it, tries to send a pass through, but taken away by Gallivan. Gallivan kicks it into space, immediately taken away by Seifert. Seifert kicks it ahead, but it's taken by Gallivan. Then it goes back to Seifert, who kicks it ahead for Maddie Moore. Maddie Moore boots it into the air, and it bounces into the arms of Josie Glass. Josie Glass looking around, punts it towards midfield. Couple high bounces, downed by Contreras, but then taken away by Liv Ernst. Passed ahead to Samantha Friedman. Friedman trying to get around her defender. Can't do it. Well defended by Fiona Flint, but it goes out of bounds. Probably going to be a Brookline ball. We've got a couple of subs coming in. Claire Rayner and Lily Ranelli coming in for Newton North, replacing Olivia Doherty and Vivienne Lacamera. And for Brookline, Alex Levy comes in, replacing Gianna Pentland. Inbounds kick for Brookline. It goes to Friedman. Friedman tries to gain the edge. Centering kick. Could be potentially dangerous. Gallivan gets it away, though. And then Ranelli turns around and boots it towards midfield. Goes off the foot of Rayner. Rayner trying to chase it down, but being defended by Mahoney. Mahoney taps it out of bounds. So it'll be an inbounds kick for Newton North, deep in the Brookline end. Still scoreless here in the third quarter at Skyline Field. The Tigers getting ready for an inbounds kick. This will be Gallivan looking for her opening. Sends a pass in, looking for, I believe that's Ranelli. Ranelli now dribbling with it, being matched up against Seifert, trying to gain the edge. Ranelli stops, cuts back, sends a pass out to Contreras. Contreras launches one nowhere near the net, and that goes out of bounds for a goal kick.
Don't panic.
Talia Thompson getting ready for the goal kick, and we've got another substitution for Brookline. This is Kellen McNamara coming in, replacing Samantha Friedman. Both of those players have had some good chances at the net today that have just had some bad post luck. Thompson now boots it into space on the goal kick, and it bounces off the hand of Morgan Gallivan.
In front of the ball so we can get back.
So the handball gives the ball to Brookline for a free kick. Seifert with the ball decides to pass it back to Mahoney. Kicked over to Caroline Wolf. Kicked back to Mahoney. Mahoney now dribbling with it. Sends a pass ahead to Alex Levy. Levy collects it, turns around, kicks it across midfield. Looking for McNamara. McNamara had a little trouble collecting it. Turns around, sends a pass out to the far side, looking for Pujols Braceno. She's being chased by Helen Ria Booney. There's a whistle. I think they're going to call the foul on Newton North. And so this will be a free kick for Brookline. Passing along the far side, but then taken away by Newton North and booted into space. It's going to go right to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney collects it. Pass over to the near sideline to Seifert. Seifert has to collect it, but it's taken away by Contreras. Contreras centering pass looking for Rayner. Rayner's got it, but defense closes fast. Lindsay Mahoney takes it away, tries to kick it out. Almost dangerous deflection there, but collected by Hope Leshley. She boots it into space across midfield, being chased down by Sari Frankel. Sari Frankel in a race against Anna Engel to try and gain the edge. Frankel's got the ball. She's trying to gain the edge here. She has to turn around, cut back, but then cut back around the edge. Centering kick and right into the arms of Josie Glass. Maddie Moore was waiting for that one. If that had gotten over the hands of Josie Glass, that could have gone in, but instead Glass throws it in, deflected by Pujols Braceno, kicked by Fiona Flint, over the head of Caroline Wolf, but off the foot of Claire Rayner, who then lost her balance, collected by Wolf, passed ahead to Liv Ernst, then passed along the far side for McNamara. McNamara boots it right into the arms of Glass. It was like a routine fly ball there.
Get us up. That means the back line too.
Josie Glass now looking around, surveying her options. She decides to punt it towards midfield. It is deflected and then goes to the foot of Emma Planet. Planet dribbles for a bit, sends a long pass ahead, deflected by Seifert, chased down by Contreras, who taps it to nobody. Tapped by Ernst, looking for Seifert, but taken away by Contreras. Contreras was trying to gain the edge, but it's deflected out of bounds by Seifert. This is going to be a corner kick. We got two subs coming in for Newton North. This is Malia Sung and Kira Doherty, replacing Emma Planet and Fiona Flint. And in the meantime, the Tigers have a corner kick set up, still looking for the first goal of the game. Morgan Gallivan and Claire Rayner over in the corner. Looks like Gallivan's going to be tapping to Rayner once again. That is what they do. Rayner boots it into the air towards the box. A dangerous deflection, but then ultimately booted out by Brookline. That's Kellen McNamara who ultimately kicks it out. But it goes back to Anna Engel, passed over to Kira Doherty, passed back to Engel. Engel kicks it into space, goes down the far sideline, being chased after by Mia Pujols Braceno, who turns around, kicks it, deflected out of bounds by Helen Ria Booney. That'll be Brookline ball. Or rather, it's going to be a goal kick, and so Thompson kicks it over to Wolf. Wolf tries to kick it ahead, but deflected and taken away by Newton North. Pass ahead is then taken away by Brookline, tapped over to Liv Ernst. Liv Ernst was being chased, but gets a pass away to McNamara, and we've got a whistle. Okay, that whistle was for the end of the third quarter. Time flies when you're having fun. But For right now, after 3 quarters of play, the score is still 0-0. Brookline with nothing, Newton North with nothing. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, live from Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. I'll be back for the 4th and final quarter of play after a brief mute break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, here bringing you the 4th and final quarter of this game, girls high school soccer between regional rivals Brookline High and Newton North. We are scoreless heading into the final quarter of play. Brookline in blue jerseys now playing from my left. Newton in white playing from my right. Brookline will start with the ball. They've got Alex Levy and Gianna Pentland starting at the center. Bit of brief confusion as one player wasn't sure she was in. But now all players on the field. Ready to get this underway. Pentland kicks it back to Melanie Chernin, and we're underway. Chernin kicks it over to the far side. It's being controlled by Seifert. Seifert passes it ahead looking for Maddie Moore. Maddie Moore manages to almost dribble through Fiona Flint, but lost the ball out of bounds. And so that'll be Newton North ball. Kicked inbounds, back to Tali Membrino. Booted across midfield, a bit of a deflection, scrum for the ball. Seifert kicks it, deflected, and then collected by Chernin. Chernin sends a through pass over to Alex Levy, who tried to send a pass through. It gets away from Kira Doherty and is chased down by Kellen McNamara. McNamara now trying to gain the edge. She turns around, centering kick, wide of Levy and collected by Anna Engel, who then boots it across midfield. Finds Claire Rayner. Rayner with a nice move, although she may have elbowed Wolf in the face. She was dribbling with it all by herself and then tripped and lost the ball. It looks like Caroline Wolf got hurt. Claire Rayner was trying to make a nice move there, sort of a quick spin around, and I think she may have whacked Caroline Wolf in the face. And as Rayner had a sudden breakaway, she actually stumbled and lost the ball, but either way, because of the injury, they stopped play. And so now it'll be a free kick for Newton North. A nice bit of sportsmanship as Rayner came in and checked on Wolf, basically saying, "My bad, didn't mean to do that." Malia Sung taps it back to Anna Engel, who kicks it into the box towards Rayner. Rayner tries to tap it, but nobody there. Caroline Wolf kicks it out of the box, and it's collected by Kellen McNamara. McNamara trying to battle with Sung. It's kicked out of bounds, and they're going to say it went off McNamara. Good pressure by Malia Sung as she now gets the inbounds kick for Newton North. She passes it towards the center to Claire Rayner. Rayner trying to dribble against Wolf once again. She's forced to pass it out. The attempted pass back in is wide of everybody. It's kicked away by Lindsay Mahoney. Goes back towards midfield. Collected for a second by Membrino. Levy fighting for it, but she's fighting multiple players. Got outnumbered. The ball eventually gets back to Membrino. Passed ahead to Josie Tucker. Tucker sends a through pass to nobody, and it rolls into the arms of Talia Thompson. Thompson looking around, decides to roll it over to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney passes it ahead to Seifert. Seifert sends a pass ahead looking for Maddie Moore, but it's deflected back. And it goes back to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney stops it. Kicks it over to Caroline Wolf. Wolf kicks it ahead, and it's intercepted for a second by Kira Doherty. They're going to call a foul on Kellen McNamara, who was battling Doherty for the ball. Doherty came in like a bullet to try and steal that ball away and managed to draw a foul. So free kick for Newton North in the Brookline end, about 15 yards past midfield. Doherty taps it for Engel. Engel boots it into the air towards the box, goes off of Rayner's foot, but then booted into the air by Pujols Briseno. Bit of a scrum for the ball, still being chased. It's collected by Melanie Chernin. Chernin sends a pass down the far sideline for Maddie Moore. Maddie Moore tries to send it ahead, but loses it out of bounds. I think the ball is going to go back to Newton North. Or they might have said that's a foul call on Newton North, or maybe it was out of bounds. Yeah, they're going to say it was out of bounds off Newton North. Inbounded to Moore. Moore tried to kick it. Deflected and immediately taken away by Newton North. Kicked across midfield, looking for Rayner. Skips away from her. Collected by Lindsay Mahoney. Kicked back to Talia Thompson. Thompson kicks it back into the field of play and intercepted by Josie Tucker. Tucker dribbling with it, sends a pass ahead. Now an attempted centering kick, an attempted chase, could not catch up to it. Down the far side, Newton North thought they had a chance there, but couldn't quite figure it out. So it'll be a goal kick for Thompson. Passed over to Lindsay Mahoney. Then passed along the far side for Maddie Moore. Moore, a centering pass over to Chernin, but it's almost taken away by Josie Tucker. Then a battle for the ball, and it ends up going to Maddie Moore. Maddie Moore now dribbling. Tries to go through a defender, can't do it, but it's deflected out of bounds. Brookline ball.
You won the ball. Don't back away from it.
Brookline getting a free kick instead. It'll be a direct kick. Seifert kicks it across midfield. Deflected a couple of times. A bit of a scrum for the ball. Brookline comes up with it. A pass down the far side looking for Moore. Moore collects it. She's got it around the corner. Passes it back out, but misses her teammate, and it's taken away by Shannon McCarthy. McCarthy kicks it towards the center, but it's kicked away by Liv Ernst. Then collected by Newton North. I think that's Tully Membrino who booted it into the air. And now it's being chased down by Clara Rayner. Rayner's got a good chance here. She's got some space to work with. Some teammates alongside her. Decides to wind up and kick it herself. Deflected by Lindsay Mahoney. And chased down and lost out of bounds. That'll be a corner kick. Lindsay Mahoney showing why she gets put in that center back position to play for the entire game. She makes a lot of really smart veteran moves, putting herself in good positions. You know, it never seems like she loses her cool. Always just seems calm and collected, never out of place. She does a heck of a job back there. And now the corner kick for Newton North, booted towards the center, deflected by Josie Tucker, then kicked into the air and well over the bar. She was being defended by Melanie Chernin. We got a substitutions coming in for Brookline. Sari Frankel, Zoe Fagnan, Hope Leshley, and Samantha Friedman come in, replacing Alex Levy, Kellen McNamara, Liv Ernst, and Maddie Moore. Brookline seems to be back to its full starting unit now here in the fourth quarter of this scoreless game. Talia Thompson with the goal kick, sends it ahead, downed by Gianna Pentland, sends a retreating pass back to Hope Leshley. Leshley taps it out to the side for Seifert, then tapped back to Leshley, tapped back to Seifert. Seifert tries to kick it towards the center, towards Pentland. Pentland lost it for a second, and then it's taken away by Newton North. They try a pass, taken away by Leshley, but then some deflections, and it winds up back at the feet of Josie Tucker. Tucker now dribbling with it. Gets around a defender, tries to boot it, but had no angle, and it goes out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick for Thompson. Talia Thompson getting ready for the goal kick now. Boots it into the air. Collected by Zoe Fagnan, passed out to the far end to Seifert. Seifert ran into a defender, but forced them to deflect it out of bounds. It'll remain Brookline ball. Tapped in for Fagnan. Fagnan, pass over to Frankel. Frankel trying to get around her defender, defended by Malia Sung. Sung managed to deflect it away and deflect it back to a teammate who boots it deep into the Brookline end. Being chased after by McCarthy and Seifert. McCarthy manages to win the battle and send a centering kick, but no room. They're going to say it was deflected out of bounds by Seifert out the back end, so that'll be a corner kick in the far corner for Newton North. Shannon McCarthy heading over towards the corner, probably going to tap it to Clara Rayner. Rayner boots it into the air, but not a very high kick. It's downed by Pentland. Pentland then turns around and boots it out of bounds. That'll be an inbounds kick now for Newton North. Nice solid defense by Gianna Pentland. Inbounds kick now for Newton North. Inbounded, kicked towards the box. Deflected by Hope Leslie. Another deflection. Caroline Wolf chases it down, boots it into the air. Seifert tracks it down and ends up kicking it out of bounds. So another inbounds kick coming for Newton North, but we have a substitution on each side. For Brookline, Sarah Gonzalez coming in. For Newton North, Helen Riabuni coming in. Coming out for Brookline is Mila Seifert. Coming out for Newton North is Shannon McCarthy. Inbounds kick, it's booted towards the box, booted out by Lindsay Mahoney. Goes to Fagnan, who kicks it further out. Battle for the ball, won by Malia Sung for the moment. She kicks it back out to a teammate who tries another insert pass, intercepted by Leslie. Leslie tries to kick it ahead, intercepted by Membrino. Back and forth kicks for the ball. It gets away from Newton North, goes to Hope Leslie, tapped back to Sarah Gonzalez. Kicks it into space, it's taken away by Newton North. It goes to Lily Ranelli, who then loses it immediately to Leslie. Leslie gets a pass out to Samantha Friedman. Friedman sends a pass ahead to Sari Frankel. Frankel dribbling against Anna Engel, trying to race her down the edge. Frankel trying to get some space. She gets down the edge, but now has to turn. She turns, tries a centering kick, flies right into the arms of Josie Glass. Anna Engel has done a pretty good job of containing Frankel. Frankel can be very dangerous. Plenty of good moves down in the offensive end, but Engel has been very good at keeping up with her speed-wise and agility-wise, keeping this game scoreless. So, free kick for Newton North. They boot it into the air. It's taken by Hope Leslie. Leslie tries to send a through pass, gets away from her teammate, and is booted into the air by Engel. Engel boots it into the air towards midfield. Battle for the ball, eventually won by Claire Rayner. Rayner dribbling with it down the far side, sends a pass ahead, looking for Kayla Boggs. It's being chased after and screened off by Lindsay Mahoney. It goes out the back for a goal kick. We got some subs coming in. This is Liv Ernst coming in for Brookline, as well as Morgan Gallivan and Fiona Flint coming in for Newton North. Coming out for Brookline is Gianna Pentland. Coming out for Newton North, Kira Doherty and Jessica Minkin. Thompson boots it. Bounces a couple of times. Scrum for the ball. And it goes out of bounds. They're going to say Brookline ball. Sarah Gonzalez taps it in for Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan dribbling with it. Gets around Boggs. Still dribbling. Boots it across midfield, finds Sari Frankel. Frankel now dribbling with it. Turns around, kicks it ahead for Friedman, but it's stopped and kicked away by Fiona Flint. Bounces off the foot of Caroline Wolf, being chased after, kicked away by Pujols Braceno. Then she recovers it, kicks it across midfield, and they call a foul. That call was against Helen Riabuni as she got too physical battling with Mia Pujols Braceno. Braceno with the free kick. She kicks it, but it goes right to Riabuni, but then right back to Braceno. Kicked, and now they're going to say the foul is against Pujols Braceno. So it'll be a free kick now for Newton North. Looks like Fiona Flint is going to tap it back for Anna Engel. Newton North hoping for a kick towards the box, it seems, on this indirect kick. Flint taps it back. Engel boots it into the air towards the center, far away from the box. It's being chased by a couple players, and it's won by Claire Rayner for a second, but then stolen away by Hope Leslie. Leslie passes it out to Fagnan. Fagnan passes it ahead to Chernin, then back to Leslie. Leslie collects it, dribbles across midfield with some space, tries to pass it, deflected away. Being chased after by Chernin, but deflected away by Riabuni and collected by Josie Tucker. Tucker now dribbling, got some space to work, tries to send a through pass, and they call offsides. Offsides called against Claire Rayner. She was not happy about that call. That was a dangerous chance there for Newton North, but the offsides call kills it. Goal kick is intercepted by Josie Tucker, now passed out to Helen Riabuni along the near side, being chased by Melanie Chernin. They force the ball out of bounds. We've got a sub coming in. This is Ali Contaridis and Catalina Powderly coming in for Newton North as they get ready for the corner kick. Coming out are Josie Tucker and Lily Ranelli. They've got Fiona Flint tapping it in for Riabuni. Riabuni kicks it, immediately deflected by the Brookline defense, but then recovered by Newton North. Kick towards the center. This is a dangerous chance. Oh, that was so close, but ultimately goes out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick. That was a battle for the ball between Claire Rayner and Lindsay Mahoney. And Mahoney stood tall there. If she lost that battle, that's a goal. Just straight up, that would have been a goal. Great defensive play there by Lindsay Mahoney. Goal kick for Thompson. She kicks it over to Caroline Wolf. Wolf dribbles with it, boots it into the air towards midfield. Kicked by Membrino. It goes to Riabuni. Riabuni has it stolen away immediately by Pujols Braceno. Kicked to Ernst, then kicked over to Chernin. Chernin dribbling across midfield, got some space, sends a long pass, deflected by Engel and kicked away by Flint. Then we got another deflection across midfield. And then for a second by Contaridis, but then taken away by Chernin. Chernin passed it to nobody, but it gets deflected over to Ernst. Ernst sends it over to Fagnan. Fagnan turning around, trying to battle for the ball, but it's taken away by Contaridis. Contaridis kicks it all the way across midfield, but it's being chased down by Lindsay Mahoney. As Brookline will try and reset, they kick it back to Talia Thompson. Thompson winds up, kicks it towards midfield. It's downed by Melanie Chernin. Chernin fighting through a couple defenders, tries to send a through pass. She's looking for Fagnan. Fagnan almost got around her defender. It got deflected away from her, though. And now the deflection ends up pushing towards the far sideline. Now taken away by Brookline. I think that was Liv Ernst, who passes it back to Lindsay Mahoney. Sends it back in. Deflected away by Newton North. They get across midfield. Deflected away for a second by Mahoney. Kicked towards the center to Caroline Wolf, who then kicks it across midfield, collected by Chernin. Chernin's got a defender closing fast. Stays cool, turns around, passes it over to Pujols Braceno. Pujols Braceno sends it down the near sideline looking for Friedman. Friedman dribbling with some space. She gets into the box, starting the attack. Centering kick, deflected off the crossbar again. Are you kidding me? Chased down on the rebound. Chernin tries to kick, it's deflected, and then another kick flies over the crossbar. I don't believe it. I am not sure who got the foot on that one. It was a perfect pass and a perfect deflection. Might have been Frankel or Leshley or Ernst or somebody, but either way, it was almost point blank. They were about 5 yards out from the net when they deflected that, and it still went right up to the crossbar. The goal kick for Newton North goes to Riabuni, who tries to turn around and kick it. It's deflected out by Pujols Braceno. Inbounds kick for Newton North, deflected by Friedman, and then it goes back to Flint. Flint kicks it across midfield. Couple deflections, battle for the ball. One for a second by Leshley, but then deflected away and chased down, but lost out of bounds. Helen Riabuni was trying to maintain possession of it. Couldn't quite do it and loses it out of bounds on the near side. Brookline will take over in its own end. Braceno inbounds to Friedman. Friedman gets around one player, dribbling with some space, gets past another player, gets around another. She's just dribbling, taking it herself, eventually passes it ahead to, Frankel. Frankel trying to get around defender. She does. Centering kick, floats into the arms of Josie Glass. 0-0, still the score here in the fourth quarter. Josie Glass punts it towards midfield. Bit of a battle for the ball. Claire Rayner manages to deflect it over to Powderly. Powderly sends a pass looking for Riabuni. There's no offsides. Riabuni's got some space to work. This is going to be dangerous. And another attempted centering kick shot over the bar. Claire Rayner with another great chance at the score that time. But again, it just flies high. Both teams want it so bad, but neither one seems to have the good fortune to get it in. The goal kick by Thompson is collected by Zoe Fagnan. She turns around, passes it ahead to Melanie Chernin. Chernin passes it across midfield, chasing it down along the far side. I think that's Sarah Gonzalez, but has it taken away by Newton North. They try and get it across midfield. A pass ahead finds Claire Rayner. Rayner dribbling along the far sideline. Now turns, tries to dribble towards the center, gets around a couple players. Now gets around another. She's headed right for it, and sliding in and taking the ball is Talia Thompson. Thompson rolls it up to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan now passes it towards the center to Leshley. Then passed along the far side over to Gonzalez. Gonzalez kicks it ahead, looking for Frankel, but it's taken away. I believe that was Tully Membrino who kicked it out of bounds. Only so much clock left in this game. Both teams scoreless as we got an inbounds kick for Brookline. Zoe Fagnan dribbling with it, trying to gain the edge, trying to get around a couple defenders. Loses the ball, though, and I think that's our final whistle there. And indeed, that's going to be the final whistle. So the final score of this third and final game between Brookline and Newton North is going to be 0-0. So the final record between these two teams, 2 ties, 1 win for Newton North. 3 very hard-fought contests these two teams have fought. Brookline's record moves to 2-3-3 on the year. And both teams have got to be so frustrated with this because, at least offensively, because both teams had some really great chances to get on the board. And either just some bad post luck, wide shots, great goalie play, whatever it was, something always got in the way. And as a result, you got a scoreboard with no scores on it. Final score 0-0. The Brookline Warriors will be back in action on Wednesday for an afternoon contest at home against Natick, that rescheduled game from about a week ago. Will be played on Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. here at Skyline Field. I hope to be here for that. I hope you will tune in again. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Once again, if you like my broadcasts, want to support me financially, head on over to paypal.me/JGMS88. That link is also on my Mixer page, easy to find, paypal.me/JGMS88. But of course, I love doing this either way, and I hope you love listening. So, for the last time here at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, final score, Brookline 0, Newton North 0. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, signing off. Have a good Sunday.